Hello and welcome to the lecture. In this lecture, the topic that is going to be the cover is the Indian geography, and this is going to be the part 1. Before starting the actual lecture, there is the small disclaimer that we are required to understand before we proceed further. And disclaimer goes like, the images, text and other materials used in our presentation are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners. If you are the owner and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the same. So first, look at the states of India. The first state is Andhra Pradesh, then Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Gujarat, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Odisha, Punjab, Rajasthan, Sikkim, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Tripura, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal. So these are the states of India, out of which the Rajasthan is the largest state on territorial basis, whereas Goa is the smallest state on territorial basis. Secondly, the Gujarat is the state that is having the longest coastline in the country. The total length of Indian coastline is 7,500 kilometers. Okay. Out of this, the highest share is being with the state of Gujarat. Thereafter, the states like Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, then Tripura. And then here, you can say these states, Arunachal Pradesh also. These states are commonly known as the northeastern states of the country. And because these are 7 in number, so that's why they are also known as 7 sisters. Remember, Sikkim being lie in the northeastern region of the country, but not a part of the northeastern states. Okay, Sikkim is not the part of 7 sisters. Alright, if we talk about the youngest state that formed, so the answer is Telangana. That state was formed in year of 2014 by separating the region from the state of Andhra Pradesh. And Andhra Pradesh is the first state of the country that established on the basis of linguistics. Okay. Thereafter, now the Union Territories of India: Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Chandigarh, Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, Delhi, Lakshadweep, Puducherry, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh. So these are the Union Territories of the country. Now, what is the difference between the state and the Union Territory? So remember, the states are the part of Union and its territories, as defined by Article 1 of Part 1 of Indian Constitution. So Union and its territory means there are 28 states and then There are, if you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total 8 union territories. So they both got combined together to form the union that is known as the country of India. Okay. Whereas the union territories are different from the union and its territories. The state having their own governments, that is known as the state government, and the state government is liable to govern the respective state. Whereas the union territories are those territories which may lie territorial in any region of these states. For example, if we consider this is Punjab, this is Haryana, Chandigarh lies here. That means in the territorial region of Punjab. But still, the Chandigarh is not governed by the Punjab government. Instead of this, the union territories are governed by the central government. Okay, so that's why the Chandigarh is also comes under the control of the central government instead of the control of Punjab government or the Haryana government. There are only 3 union territories that having the exceptions, like Delhi having its own legislature, Puducherry having own legislature, and similarly the Jammu and Kashmir, they having their own legislature. It means, however, they having the control of the central government, but still their internal governments could be looked after by the respective governments. But the rest other, like Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the Chandigarh, the Dadar and Nagar Haveli, Lakshadweep and Ladakh, these union territories are directly administered by the central government by appointing the lieutenant governors, or known as administrators. Okay, so that is the difference between the state and union territories. Now, geographical features of India. India is located in South Asia and is separated from the rest of Asia by the Himalayas and the sea. Now, India is known as the subcontinent. Why so? In order to understand that why India called as subcontinent, we have to first understand the continent. So continent in the sense you can say the land by 4 sides of water, or you can say any land or a piece of land that is covered by the 4 sides of water and having some extent is known as the continent. Whereas subcontinent is that land which is covered by 3 sides of water instead of the 4 sides. Now, if you look at India, so this is the north, this is east, this is south, and this is the west. In East India, we have the Bay of Bengal, which is the water body. In southern side, we have the Indian Ocean, that is again the water body. In west side, we having the Arabian Sea, that is the water body. In the north, we do not have any water body. Instead of this, we have the Himalayas, that are the mountains chain. So Himalaya divide India on territorial basis from rest of Asia, and these water bodies divide India on water basis from rest of the area. Okay. India by land is the 7th largest country in the world and having a population of over 1.45 billion people, making it the second most populous country in the world after China. India is located on the Indian plate and is a part of Indo-Australian plate. Now, what is this plate? So these plates are actually known as the tectonic plates. Now, what are the tectonic plates? Tectonic plates are the territorial masses on asthenosphere. Now, what do we mean by the atmosphere? Let's look at this also. Then only you will be able why we call it India as the part of Indo-Australian plate. So at the top, the earth having the crust, then the mantle, and then the core. This is the internal structure of the earth. Between the crust and the mantle, there comes the layer that is known as the atmosphere. The temperature here is so high. That means it is known as the liquid layer. Anything that goes here, whether it's a solid or anything, that will become liquid just because of the high temperature. And the crust is divided into the land divisions that are known as the tectonic plates. And these tectonic plates are actually floating over these liquid layers. And whenever there is any activity happen between these tectonic plates, this gave rise to the seismic activities. That means the cause of earthquake, and then the volcanic eruptions also. Alright, so India is actually the part of the Indo-Australian plate. That means a crust division that connects the Australia on one terminal and India on the second terminal. And they both are floating over the atmosphere. Now, the largest countries in the world by area, if we consider, the first is the Russia, that it stands out for 17,124 and 442 square kilometers. Then comes Canada, that stands out for 9,984 and 670 square kilometers. Then the China stands out for 9,706 and 961 square kilometers. Then comes United States. It stands out for 9,629,091 square kilometers. Then Brazil stands out for 8,515,767 square kilometers. Then Australia stands out for 7,692,924 square kilometers. And then comes the India. So it was then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth, then sixth, and then seventh. So Russia is the world's largest country, followed by Canada at number 2nd, then China at number 3, then United States at number 4, then Brazil at number 5, then Australia at number 6, and then India at number 7. India's total area is 3,287,263 square kilometers. That means 32,87,263 square kilometers. While if we talk about north to south extent and west to east extent of the country, then north to south, India stretch out for 3,200 square kilometers. Whereas west to east, it is 2,700 square kilometers. Land area is 29,73,193 square kilometers. Here, this division also includes the two things. The territorial waters. Now, what is the concept of territorial waters? So, this is the south map of India. Okay. This is the eastern coastal area. This is western coastal area. Okay, so this is the landmass. But as per the UN clause, now what is the UN clause? So UN clause stands out for United Nations Convention on Law of Sea. That gives the two things. The first is the territorial waters, and the second is special economic zone. Territorial waters having the limit up to 12 nautical miles, whereas the special economic zone having the limit up to 226 nautical miles. Okay, so 12 nautical miles means, suppose this is the coastal area's land. From here till 12 nautical miles, the water belong to India. If any other foreign ship enters here, that will be considered as water boundary violation. And from this land to up to 2 to 6 nautical miles, that will be, this is the territorial waters, and that will be special economic zone. That means up to this limit, India could have the provisions for economic extortion of the ocean. That means whether to find out for the natural gas and oil compartments, whether to do any kind of research and all. And if any other foreign country tries to do the same in this range, then the India may have the objection with it. So the land area is 29,073 and 193 square kilometers. The rest area is actually belongs to the territorial water area plus the special economic zone area. The water area is 3,14,070 square kilometers. India's water area makes up to 9.55% of its total area. Then comparisons. India is 12 times larger than the United Kingdom. Like United Kingdom, we know it's a country that having the control over India and one time. So India is actually by landmass is 12 times larger than the UK. India is 8 times larger than the Japan. India is about 3/4 the size of the European Union. All 28 member nations combined. Like European Union, what do you mean by this? So the European countries, the countries that lies in the continent of Europe, they have formed a common union that is known as the Europe Union. Okay, it's having the 28 member nations. So if we combine all the territory of these 28 nations, still the India is of the 3/4 size of them. Then the Kanyakumari is the southernmost point of the mainland of India. That means this is the mainland. So that will be the Kanyakumari. However, here we are not considering the islands. Like we know, on the eastern side we have the group of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and on the west side we have the group of Lakshadweep Islands. Here we are not considering them, but we are talking about the mainland of India. So as per the mainland of India, the southernmost point of the mainland is Kanyakumari. It is located where 3 seas meet and narrows before ending in the Indian Ocean. The southernmost point of India is actually the Indira Point, okay, which is located on the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which means the Indira Point, which is actual the southernmost point. is not on the mainland of the country but on the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, not far from Indonesia. However, Indira Point was submerged during the 2004 tsunami. The Lakshadweep Islands are a group of islands that are closer to the Indian coast compared to the other islands group, and they are very closer to the state of Kerala. So that's why the ethnicity, the culturalism that you will notice in Kerala, the same kind of things you will be notice in the Lakshadweep. Like even the language, Malayalam language is common in both the Kerala as well as Lakshadweep. The India has a very long coastline which is almost as long as the radius of the earth. Like approximately the radius of the earth is nearly about 69,000 or nearby it square kilometers. Okay. And the Indian coastline is nearly about 7,500 square kilometers. So here if you consider the numbers, so you can say it is very close to it. The distance from north to south and east to west in India is almost the same in degrees, about 30 degrees, but in kilometers, the north-south distance is about 3,200 kilometers, and it's longer than the east-west distance, about 3,000 kilometers. Because India is so spread out from east to west, so there is a 2-hour time difference between the easternmost and westernmost points. For example, in India, if we talk about the sunrise and sunset, Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat. Andhra Pradesh is the northeastern states of the country, whereas the Gujarat is the northwestern state of the country. So the 2-hour time difference means if at 4 a.m. there is a sunrise in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, so at 6 a.m. there will be a sunrise in the state of Gujarat. There will be a time delay of 2 hours. Similarly, if at 4 p.m. there is the sunset in Arunachal Pradesh, then at 6 p.m. there will be a sunset in Gujarat. The standard meridian of India is 82 degree 30 minutes east, passes through the Tropic of Cancer. It is an imaginary line at 23 degrees 30 minutes north of the equator, divides India into 2 almost equal parts. Okay. The northern part is a vast region that stretches from east to west, made up of flat plains and the majestic Himalaya mountains. Like if we divided India into vertical bases, first the Himalayas are there, then comes the northern plains, then comes the peninsular, then comes the Ghats, then comes the coast, and then comes the islands. In northern plains in the western side, there is the Thar Desert also. Okay. The southern part below the Tropic of Cancer is in a shape of a triangle. with its base in the north and its tip pointing south. This region mainly consists of the Peninsular Plateau, but it also includes the coastal areas on the eastern side and the western side. Like this region, mainly that area that you are seeing, it is the peninsular areas. But these areas that you are seeing, this is the eastern coastal plain, and this area is the western coastal plains. From the state of Gujarat in the west to the state of Arunachal Pradesh in the east, there is the 2 hour difference in time, as the sunset or sunrise examples we have taken. To ensure the uniformity, the time along the standard meridian of India, that is 82 degree 30 minutes east, and that is passes through Mirzapur in the state of Uttar Pradesh, is taken as the standard time for the entire country. Like whatsoever the time will be there, the same time will be reflected in all over the clocks of the country. As you move from south to north in India, the length of the day and night changes due to the country's latitudinal extent, its position related to the equator. The coastline of mainland India, excluding the Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep Islands, stretches for approximately 5,423 kilometers. Here we are not including the coastline that we found along the island groups. The distance from north to south in India is about 2093.6 kilometers. The mainland coast of India has different types of beaches. About 43% of the coast is sandy, 11% is rocky with cliffs, and 46% is marshy. The highest point in India is K2, which is 8,611 meters high. Now there is one thing. And what is that thing? Actually, the original highest point in India is Godwin Austen. That lies in the Karakoram range of Himalayas and lies in the Pak occupied Kashmir. Okay, which is the part of India but actually occupied by the Pakistan. So that's why the Kanchenjunga, that lies in the Sikkim Himalayas. These are considered as the highest peak of the country. The Godwin Austen lies on the Western Himalayas, whereas the Kanchenjunga lies in the Eastern Himalayas. However, the K2 is located in the Gilgit-Baltistan region, which is currently the part of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, as I have told you. It lies in the Karakoram range. Kanchenjunga in Sikkim is the highest point within India's current borders, and it is nearly about 8,598 meters in height. The Thar Desert is the 9th largest subtropical desert in the world and covers an area of more than 2 lakh square kilometers. The soil in the Thar Desert is sandy to sandy loam in the texture. India is surrounded by the Indian Ocean to the south, the Arabian Sea to the southwest, and the Bay of Bengal to the southeast. India's territorial waters extend up to 12 nautical miles, about 22.2 kilometers into the sea, as per the UN clause. The Maldives, Sri Lanka, and Indonesia, these are the island nations located to the south of India. Dimensions: distance from north to south is 3,214 kilometers. Now, if we're talking about this, there is a small thing that we are required to understand. There is the difference between the India and the Indian subcontinent. And what is this difference? India is comprising the country of India only. That stands out for nearly of 32 lakhs square kilometers. Whereas the Indian subcontinent is comprised of India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. That is nearly about 44 lakhs square kilometers. So when we are giving reference to India, that means we are talking about the India only. But when we are going with the Indian subcontinent, remember, we have to talk with India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh, because all of these are the part of the Indian subcontinent. However, at some places, we could also find the Sri Lanka as a part of the Indian subcontinent, but because it is not connected to the continent by land, so that's why it is not considered as the part of it. The distance from north to south is 3,214 kilometers, while the distance from east to west is 2,933 kilometers. Length of coastline is 7,516.6 kilometers. Length of land frontier is 15,200 kilometers. Total geographic land area is 32,87,263 square kilometers. Percentage of Earth surface covered by India is 2.4%. Percentage of world's population living in India is 17.5%. India's territorial sea stands out for 12 nautical miles. India's contiguous zone is for 24 nautical miles. India's exclusive economic zone is nearly about 200 nautical miles. India's longest river is River Ganga. India's largest lake is Lake Chilka. India's highest point is Mount K2, 8,611 meters. India's highest point of Himalaya is Kanchenjunga, 8,598 meters. India's lowest point is Kuttanad, 2.2 meters minus. India's northernmost point is Siachi. Now, glaciers near Karakoram. India's southernmost point is Indra Point, located in the Great Nicobar Islands of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. India's westernmost point is located west of Gohar Mota in the state of Gujarat. India's easternmost point is Kibutu, situated in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. The highest point in India is Kanchenjunga, located in the state of Sikkim. The lowest point in India is Kuttanad, situated in the state of Kerala. Now the frontiers. In the north, India is separated from Tibet by the Himalayan mountain range. India shares borders with China. The border length is 4,057 kilometers. Bhutan, the border length is 699 kilometers. And with Nepal, the border length is 1,751 kilometers. The Siliguri corridor, located between the borders of Bhutan, Nepal, and Bangladesh, connects mainland India with the northern eastern states. And because of its strategic location, it is known as the Chicken neck. The boundary line between India and China is also known as McMahon Line. The latitudinal and longitudinal extent of India is almost the same in degrees, both being around 30 degrees. However, in terms of kilometers, the northern-south distance approximately is 3,200 kilometers is greater than the east-west distance that stands out for 2,900 kilometers only. In the east, India shares borders with Chin Hills and Kanchan Hills on Myanmar side. India's international borders at northeast. India shares a border with Myanmar, also known as Burma, to the far northeast. The border is marked by the densely forested mountains. On east, Bangladesh is separated from India by the watershed region of the Indo-Gangetic Plain, the Khasi Hills and the Mizo Hills. The border between India and Bangladesh is 4,096 kilometers long, and that is the longest border India shared with any country on land. For west, Pakistan lies on the Punjab Plain and the Thar Desert. The border between the India and Pakistan is 3,323 kilometers long. Afghanistan lies on the northwest. The border between India and Afghanistan is 106 kilometers long, but because of the Pak-occupied Kashmir, this border area is not lies in India's current boundary but lies in the POK region currently. Pakistan lies on the Punjab Plain and the Thar Desert. The border between India and Pakistan is 3,323 kilometers long. Afghanistan lies on the northwest. The border between India and Afghanistan is 106 kilometers long. For south, India is surrounded by the Indian Ocean to the south. Sri Lanka is separated from India by the Gulf of Mannar and Palk Straits. States sharing international boundaries: Afghanistan, Ladakh, POK region; Bangladesh, West Bengal, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Tripura, Assam; Bhutan, West Bengal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, and Assam; China, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh; Nepal, Bihar, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Sikkim, West Bengal; Myanmar, Arunachal Pradesh और Nagaland; Pakistan, the state of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Jammu and Kashmir, and Punjab. Now the physical features of India. It could be divided into the three main parts: the Himalayas and the mountains around them, the Indo-Gangetic Plains, and then the peninsular India. There is also a fourth part that calls the coastal plains which surrounded the peninsula. The Himalayas are the youngest fold mountains in the world. They surrounded India on the north, northwest, and northeast. The Himalayas and the mountains around them are made up of very old rocks that were formed under the sea. The Indo-Gangetic Plains are located to the south of the Himalayas. They are made up of soil that was brought by rivers from the Himalayas. The peninsular India is the oldest part of India. It is made up of very hard rocks. The coastal plains surrounded the peninsular India. They are made up of sand and clay that was brought by rivers from the mountains. The Himalayas and the Karakoram Mountains. The Himalayas and the Karakoram Mountains are two of the most impressive mountain ranges in the world, located in Asia and run along the northern border of India. The Karakoram Mountains have several ranges, including the Jaskar Range, Ladakh, and Pir Panjal Range. The Jhelum River flows through this region. The Himalayas have three main ranges: the Himadri, Himachal, and Shivalik ranges. They are about 2,400 kilometers long and vary in width from 240 to 320 kilometers. The Greater Himalayas or Northern Range is the highest part of the Himalayas. It contains three of the highest mountains in the world. Mount Everest height is 8,848 meters. K2 or Mount Godwin Austen Height is 8,611 meters. And then the Kanchenjunga. Height is 8,598 meters. These high altitudes make it difficult to travel through the Himalayas, and there are only a very few passes that allow people to cross the mountains. Some of the most famous passes including the Shipkila, Jhelapla and Nathula. The Himalayas are a mountain range in Asia. They are the highest mountains in the world. The Himalayas are divided into the three parts: Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Outer Himalayas. The Himalayas are the highest part of the Himalayas. Greater Himalayas are the highest part of the Himalayas. They are covered in snow all year around. And the Greater Himalayas are home to the several glaciers, which are the sources of river like the Gangas and the Yamuna. The core of the Greater Himalayas is made up of granite. The Lesser Himalayas are located south of the Greater Himalayas. They are not as high as the Greater Himalayas, but they are still very tall. The Lesser Himalayas are home to many valleys, including the famous Kashmir Valley. The Lesser Himalayas are also home to many health resorts. Then the Outer Himalayas. The Outer Himalayas are the lowest part of the Himalayas. They lie between the Lesser Himalayas and the Indo-Gangetic Plains. The Outer Himalayas are made up of highly compressed and altered rocks. The later Himalayas in the far east are connected by the continuous ranges. The longitudinal valley between the Lesser Himalayas and the Shivalik is called dunes, like the Dehradun, Kotli Dun and Patli Dun are some well-known dunes. These ranges are made up of loose sediments brought down by rivers from the main Himalayan ranges further north. These valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium. The northern plains or Indo-Gangetic plains are formed by the valleys of the Gangas and Brahmaputra rivers. They are about 2,400 kilometers long and 240 to 320 kilometers wide. These plains cover 1/3 of India's land, are the most fertile region. Based on terrain features, this plains has two parts. The Indo-Gangetic region is a very young feature formed only during the Quaternary period. It has little high relief and mostly consists of rolling plains covered by the well-developed rivers. The river system. The surface of the river system is covered with sediments from the middle to late Pleistocene and Holocene or recent age. On the west, it includes the vast stretch of the Thar Desert. The upland plains above the flood level are made up of alluvial soil. It is one of the most fertile areas in the world. The lowlands are prone to flooding during floods. The Great Plains consist of level land to the south of the Great Mountains of the north, made up of fertile alluvial soil. The Great Plains are bordered by the Northern Mountains on the east, north and west, and the Peninsular Plateaus on the south. The Assam Plains include the Brahmaputra Valley. The eastern plains cover the Bengal Basin and Bihar. The northern plains are spread over the Uttar Pradesh, Punjab Doabs, and the Indus Plains cover the areas of the Punjab and Sindh watered by the great rivers. So it consists of the Indus Basin, Ganga Basin, and Brahmaputra Basin. The river Indus and its tributaries like Jhelum, Cherab, Ravi, Beas, and Satluj form the Indus Basin. River system, like the tributaries of Ganga River. Some of the tributaries of Ganga River start in the Himalayas while others start in the Peninsular Plateau. The Himalayan tributaries include the Yamuna, Ghagra, Gandak, Koshi, and Tista River. The Peninsular Plateau tributaries including the Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Son, Kain, and Damodar rivers. The Brahmaputra River. The Brahmaputra River starts beyond the Himalayas. Now the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau is located south of the northern plains. It is bordered by the eastern and western Ghat mountain ranges. The Deccan Plateau is made up of Precambrian rocks, which are some of the oldest rock on earth. The highest peaks in the Deccan Plateau are the Nilgiri Hills, which reach over 2,500 meters in height. The topography of the Deccan Plateau is rugged, but not as rugged as the Himalayas. Most of the hills in the Deccan Plateau were formed by the erosion rather than by the tectonic activity. Coastal plains. The western coastal plain is divided into the two parts, the Konkan in the north and the Malabar coast in the south. The eastern coastal strip is called the Coromandel coast. The Great Plateau of Peninsular India. The large plateau of Peninsular India is located south of the Great Plains. It is made up of hard igneous rocks. The plateau has two parts. First, the Malwa Plateau in north slopes towards the north. Then the Deccan Plateau in the south. The Great Indian Desert. To the northwest of the Malwa Plateau lies the Great Indian Desert. It is a region of inland made up of rocks and sand. Then the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau is located south of the Narmada River. It is enclosed by the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. The Western Ghats are old mountains formed by four major hills that run parallel to the Arabian coast. The Eastern Ghats are low and discontinuous. They are near the Bay of Bengal coast. Many rivers flow through the plateau either towards the Arabian Sea or the Bay of Bengal. The coastal plains. The western coastal plains are narrow and divided into the Konkan coast and the Malabar coast. They have estuaries and lagoons. The eastern coastal plains are wider and divided into the Northern Sircars and Coromandel coast. They have fertile deltas. With this, we have finished this lecture and thank you.